Hello and welcome to All Backed Up, a video game SOS. Nailed it.
Nice.
Where we go through our backlog of games and see what's up, I guess. Today I am joined by Mark. Not Mark, fucking hell.
Oh, God damn it.
I so regularly say by Mark and Jack. And in my head I was thinking, I don't have Mark and Chor here today, but we've got Jack.
Yeah, boy.
So I fucked it up. Anyway.
It's alright.
Today I'm joined by Jack. We're going to be talking about, well, I mean, you've finished another game, haven't you? So
yeah.
We're going to be going through that. And I also started playing the same game, so hopefully we can have some good conversation about it. Yeah, man, it's on the Game Pass. I thought, let's give it a go.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
So yeah, this is going to be, I'm imagining a short one, since it's only the two of us.
Yeah, but I feel
who
like
knows?
This is going to be like the first, I guess, game crossover between two of our sort of backlogs where we both started and played the same game, right?
Well, no, Chor and I played Ruiner.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't think he played very much.
No.
So. To be fair, I've not played very much Darksiders. So.
But I'd be interested to, I guess, when we get onto it here, like how it controls. Because I have seen that it's on Game Pass, and part of me is tempted to play the second one on Game Pass to see how it differs.
Yeah, but then will you know if that's the game or the console?
I guess that's the thing. That's always the thought in the back of my head is. It's going to be a completely different game. I guess we should probably explain. I mean, if you didn't listen to last episode, the game we are talking about is Darksiders. So, yeah, let's just get that out there.
Yeah. What is it? An action hack and slash?
Yeah. Third person.
I don't know what... Yeah, third person hack and slash with every imaginable mechanic.
Yeah, pretty much.
They like just chucking shit in there.
Yeah. So I guess like you say, I've finished it now. I finished the campaign in it. Whereabouts are you? Just so I can I guess maybe try and I don't want to give too much away. Is the thing.
So I just got past the Samuel bit.
Okay.
The first bit when you get Samuel. I feel like that's as spoiler-free as possible. But I don't think I've reached I'm about to get to the first, boss, I think.
Okay.
But I've not got to them yet.
Yeah.
I'm on some kind of destroyed bridge, and I stopped because every time you die on that area, it takes you right back to the beginning, and I just couldn't be bothered climbing up the bridge every single time. So
yeah, that makes there are definitely points where it doesn't feel like it checkpoints too well.
Yeah, there are some pretty poor checkpoints. I think that really has been my only gripe as well, because it's the kind of game where you die a lot.
Yeah.
So having a poor checkpoint system seems suboptimal, but other than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I don't know. I guess it's I certainly found, I guess as you play it a bit more, you sort of can telegraph the enemy's attacks, because, obviously there are different types of enemies, but they all attack in, the same manner every single time you encounter them. So you can sort of start to telegraph them and learn how to dodge out of the way of them, which I guess is sort of... I guess it's it's not really a mechanic to the game, but it's just something that's there, that it sort of makes it a bit more bearable as you go through it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the point, isn't it? Because they definitely do that. They telegraph their attacks, quite heavily. There's certain ones where they'll properly sort of rear up before doing a type of attack, so you know what's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But sorry, go on.
Have you been, shown how to... I guess you've been shown how to, block and stuff, and how to parry.
They didn't actually show me. They just said, press this to block and parry. Yeah. But I've never had any... particular there's not been any sort of stereotypical tutorial.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so you know you can perfectly parry an enemy's attack, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I'm never able to do it.
Oh,
ever.
Really? I found it fairly easy to do, I guess. On the I don't know if that's something to do with the way that it's I don't know if it's a mouse and keyboard thing, but I guess I
on
found
PC
blocking...
is the parry the same as the dash button?
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's what I find annoying, because I spent ages just dashing all the time. Just like, it's telling me to block, but I'm dashing.
Yeah,
because I didn't realize you had to be perfectly still to block.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the most annoying things. Is because it's bound to the same key. You have to, and you either dash when you're moving or you block when you're standing still.
Yeah.
And then it's also the same. I don't know if it's the same button on the on an Xbox controller, but it's also you have to you hold down. Certainly for PC, you hold down that same button, and then attack, and you'll do a charged attack.
I don't think I have charged attacks yet.
Oh, okay. But I think it's one of the one of the things that you can unlock via Volgrim.
Yeah,
you can go to him and then unlock level up your moves and whatever. And it's one of those ones, but it's bound to the exact same key as well.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I might have a few where you throw your scythe and it does a crazy whirlwind thing. No, I do have some of those. Yeah, it's a weird overuse of the block dash attack key.
Yeah.
Which I think has made things a little bit sort of complicated. But it is a ridiculously fun game.
Yeah, man.
I was up until that bit where I got annoyed and sort of got a little bit on tilt. It's just fun to run around just destroying things. I've not got to the portal gun yet though, which I'm sad about.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember whereabouts in the game you unlocked that, but I don't think it's anywhere near the start.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those games. Have you encountered a sort of puzzle area yet, where you've sort of been dropped into an area and this is what you have to get to. This is A, this is B. You're starting here. Go and get it.
I don't think so. I've been in an area where I've had to go to these portals and do challenges, but I've not. I don't think of.
Yeah. So what did you think? I actually quite liked those parts because it sort of familiarizes you with the controls a bit as well.
Yeah, that was almost a bit of a tutorial.
Yeah.
If one of those had been parry this many attacks, I'd be like, fucking yes, I know how to parry now.
I think there might, because I think that happens maybe one more time, and I think that they maybe do go into a bit more detail. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I mean, I feel like so what equipment have you unlocked so far?
I've got a sword and a scythe.
Yes.
And then I've got the wings.
Oh, okay.
And I think equipment. Oh, and the horn thing.
The horn that you can blow into.
Yeah, I think that's it so far. I don't think I'm particularly far. I played about an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, like I was talking about in the last recording, there are quite a few different bits of equipment that you do unlock as you go through it, and some of them are fucking awesome. Like we said, the portal gun is a pretty nifty tool to have in the game.
How sort of portal gunny is the portal gun? Can you basically just go anywhere in the map with the portal gun at that point?
No, you can't. There are certain, I guess, there are these circles on the wall that you have to aim your portal at. It's not a portal gun in the strict sense as as long as it's a white wall or whatever, you can just fire onto it and it makes it doesn't have that in-depth puzzle solving to it.
Yeah.
But it has got some areas towards the end of the game where it does utilize it really well, and trying to I guess even with these specific points on the wall that you have to use it on, it does still make you think, or it certainly made me think about how to get from one part of the area to another part of the area.
Okay. As long as, I mean, it feels like the kind of, so far they've not really let me down in terms of game design, so I figured they wouldn't just chuck it in for no reason.
Yeah,
so hopefully it works well. It sounds like it works well. So
I think as well, what the game really does well, and I guess you'll find it when you maybe come up against some of the bosses early on, is that I guess some of the equipment that you get are the ways that you have to beat these bosses. So it doesn't just give you the equipment for just for the sake of it. It actually says here's the equipment, here's how to use it. beat a bunch of like mini enemies using it, and then here's this big guy that you have to actually focus and use it properly to actually kill.
So do you often get the new equipment before you face a boss?
I think so. Well, I don't think every bit of equipment has to be used on the boss. I can't remember, but I think that there are certain.
But there's a few.
Yeah, there are definitely points where you'll get a bit of an equipment, and then you'll come up against the boss and be like, how? Like initially, certainly for me, I was like, well, how the fuck do I beat this guy? Like, I can't hit him. What's going on? And then it'll be like, because you can always like summon the Watcher as well.
Yeah.
And then he'll come up and say, oh yeah, what are you playing at? Look at this. Why don't you use this to do this? And it's like, oh my god, okay, like now this all makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I found that part of it like quite enjoyable, because I find, I guess, a lot of times games will give you equipment that you don't actually have to use throughout the entire game.
Yeah, it's just kind of thrown in there for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here you think the equipment is generally pretty well utilized.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think like, so obviously they have like, I guess like this is something I didn't really mention last week, but they have like some kind of arcade element to, like there are points in it, so you can free look, so you can sort of press a button and then have your little cursor on the screen. I don't know how it works on like the Xbox version, but you can have like when you unlock some of these pieces of equipment that require you to aim at something, it'll bring up like you have to press a button and then you get like a free aim and you could move your mouse across the screen. And that sort of like, it just reminded me of like that arcade element when you're walking through a specific zone, and like it's just one of those gun arcade machines. You're going for a specific zone and you're walking and you're aiming at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it has a few of those areas, and I actually, again, I quite enjoyed those areas. I guess some of them, like especially.
So you actually just get like a full-on gun. Or it's just like those sort of areas?
Yeah, I guess it's like those sort of mechanics.
Okay.
But like,
I remember seeing a picture of, I'm not sure if it was from Darksiders or Darksiders 2 or whatever, of Death on a horse with a handgun.
Yes.
So that does happen.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to spoil it, man. Hey, man, I'm trying to just like cover my back.
That's like on the, I think that's on the Steam game page.
Okay.
Or the Microsoft one. Like one of the first pictures is literally just Death on a horse with a handgun.
Yeah. You get a you get a handgun from a guy, which is pretty awesome. But again, it's like like I didn't really find myself using it too much. Like I was more about just getting up in people's faces and just It is
a hack and slash game.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's like I found it useful sometimes when I was not close, but like again, a lot of the times, because it is very much a like dash into the action and then swipe your sword a bunch of times and then dash out if you see an enemy about to attack you. Like I very rarely find myself, I guess, relaxing in the game.
Yeah, it is a very intense thing, I guess. But I know what you mean. Like you have sort of moments of, you're constantly just in and out, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry, no, go ahead.
I mean, like I was just gonna say, like there are obviously areas where you're trying to get from like one specific area of the map to another specific area of the map, but there are obviously going to be enemies littered along the way as well. So. Yeah.
How did the sort of I know we've sort of spoken about the mechanics and stuff and how it feels, but how did it sort of evolve from when you were playing, from what you experienced before the last episode to now? Sort of what have you... Did it really change much, or had you reached the point where you'd mostly got the sort of breadth of mechanics out of it and now it was just finishing the game?
So, like, I guess the base mechanics were still very much the same. I guess some of the later, like, puzzle rooms, I guess you can call them, are, like, it took me a bit longer to actually figure out how to get from one part to another. But I guess, like, yeah, it was... I mean, the last couple of boss fights were frustrating to say the least. Like I was surprised that I managed to finish it yesterday. I definitely had to like. I think there was definitely a time before the last boss battle where I was just like, well, I need to like take 5 minutes away from this and like maybe come back to it and leave it for a minute, because it was getting to that point where I'd be attacking and I'd just be like, well, how the fuck do I kill it? Like I'm not damaging this guy in any way. How the fuck do I kill him?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I guess I didn't really like the last couple of boss fights. I didn't really use any of my equipment. I guess it was just it's you get sort of put into, I guess, a fixed arena and you can't really do anything like there's not really any obvious, or certainly to me there might be, but there wasn't any obvious way to use any of the equipment that I had been using against the enemies. So
Yeah.
it was very much just one of those, or you have to dodge, dash, and attack sort of scenarios.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like I'm actually looking forward to seeing how like you get to grips with solving these puzzle areas using the equipment, and it's a I guess it's like it's certainly more rewarding than I would have thought it would have been to
Yeah.
complete these areas.
Like, it actually feels like you're solving, like, because I think often, I understand what you mean. You're having sort of you have a puzzle thrown into a game that didn't necessarily need puzzles, and you
Yeah.
solve it, and it feels just a bit like, that was a shit puzzle.
Yeah, exactly.
So are these actually, like, you do them and you feel accomplished?
Yeah, like it's a weird feeling, because it's not even that they're particularly difficult puzzles to solve. It's just you'll look at it, and certainly me, I found myself spending far too much time looking at it and being like, okay, so here's this, and I've got a bunch of these things over there. I've got to get from here to there. How do I do it? And sort of just experimenting around.
Yeah.
And doing like, I guess, like a trial and error process of how to get from one area to another area, and then actually like having it click in my head. And then I guess like what this game does well is I guess it's like it's similar in like other games where you'll be dropped in an area and there will be certain parts that you can't get to yet, and then later on in the game you'll unlock equipment and you'll be like, I remember this place where I now have to use this bit of equipment to access it.
Yeah.
So there are definitely like I guess you'll see points in the map where they're like inaccessible at the moment, and then once you unlock a bit of equipment, yeah,
there's definitely been a few where I figured that. There's been like like what seemed to be sort of blue grapple points in the sky,
yeah,
or blue something, yeah. So I figured that was just for later on.
yeah. Like I thought they were going to be used. Again, like immediately when I saw them, I was like, there's going to be a grapple in this game, and then it just turns out that there is, but you just don't use it or you don't get it for quite a long time. So.
Oh really?
Well, I'd say quite a long time. I mean, you do. I'm trying to think, because I think there's like 6 or 7 bits of equipment that you unlock. I think it might be like the 4th one, maybe. I can't remember. But yeah, like that, like each one has its own individual like use in the world, as well as beating up enemies, which I think is actually quite great.
Yeah, definitely. Like the tool doesn't just. Sometimes you end up with these sort of equipments that are literally just used for that one thing, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it makes it feel a bit pointless because it's sort of, I don't know, when the equipment is just for one particular thing, it almost feels like that thing didn't need to be in the game.
Yeah.
Like you could literally have just given the door a handle or something like that. Whereas when they're more versatile, and like you can use them either for that, or you can use them to fight, or even when maybe sort of like if it's a tool that lets you blow up a wall or something like that, you don't necessarily see a wall and be like, oh yeah, that's the blowing up wall.
Yeah.
Kind of idea. So I think when this equipment has sort of that use in fight as well, it makes it feel like it actually has a reason to be there because you can use it for more than one thing,
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
which is good.
I think I know one part of the game that I think you'll enjoy.
Is it like especially grapply?
No, not even just the graphically. Just like I think you'll very much enjoy like the whole concept of this character.
Okay. Well, I look forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, like this is it. Like I don't want to say too much without actually like telling you what's going on with it, but I just feel like this one particular person in the game, you'll be like, oh my god, this guy is so fucking funny. Like it's not even funny. Just like I feel like you'll enjoy him.
Yeah. I really hope it's just a possessed grappling hook. Just a demon with a grappling hook for a face.
Oh mate, how good is Mark Hamill though?
It's ridiculously good.
Like,
I mean, it is very jokery. The character is very jokery, but in like a good way. Yeah, it's weird as well hearing it because, like that first time when the Watcher turns up and he does his spiel, and you're just like, man, I didn't expect this much from a game.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Like he proper goes in, especially for it feels like a very campy game. Like it's sort of, it's a bit over the top and ridiculous, and it's very much sort of naughty's nightmare type of game, isn't it? But then Mark Hamill comes in, and you're just like, oh, okay, fair enough.
But yeah,
the first part when you sort of first get introduced to what's going on, and you're in like the middle of the battle between the angels and the demons.
Yeah, when the apocalypse is happening around you.
Yeah, so I think I was playing this as I was downloading it, and I think because I was doing that, it hadn't actually loaded in all the stuff, so I didn't have any sound other than I think some of the fighting sounds. There was no music, there was no dialogue, and there was no like enemy sounds. And it was really strange. So it made the Watcher turning up and speaking to me like especially impressive.
Oh my god, this game has sound.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was for a while I thought I'd broken it, but no, it was just that it was. I think it was because it was not fully loaded in yet, which was annoying. But I understood why. But yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed it because it means that I can keep playing it without fear of it being terrible.
Yeah,
which is a nice thing to have. I say this, I still haven't finished Ruiner, so I should probably do that.
Oh man, you can play 2 games at once. I did that, so it's fine.
Yeah, but I'm also heavily addicted to Apex Legends, so...
Man, I haven't played that game in a long time.
I was playing it before we started recording this morning. I died a lot. I've been really bad the past 2 days, like astonishingly. But...
Yeah, like I've genuinely been waiting around for like you and Shaw to be like, hey man, let's play it. I was like, yeah.
Oh mate, I'm always ready.
Oh man,
I'll play whenever. I'll come home from work. I know that I feel like I don't have really anything more to say about Darksiders than you've already said. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say about it, but I know that you also wanted to talk about, or you were saying yesterday at least, you wanted to talk about Borderlands 3 as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, I guess there's not like I'm happy I finished it. I guess I don't know if I'll want to jump right into playing the second one immediately. I don't know if I'll play another game in between. But yeah, I mean, I guess like the second one is something that I really want to like. I actually want to sit down and play the second one and see how it holds up against the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. There's nothing really, nothing else really to say apart from just the fucking ending bit is, although as frustrating as it is, it's actually quite a good battle. And yeah, okay. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Cool. I'm glad. I'm looking forward to finishing it and seeing how I feel about it too.
Yeah, man.
It means I have to play something else though to talk about on the show, because it would be weird if I then came in a few weeks and was like, so I've had the exact same experience as Jen.
Nah, man, it's fine. We'll just like we'll just hijack the recording and it'll just be us two just spitting shit about Darksiders.
Nice. I love it. So yeah, what was this Borderlands 3, are you just hyped about it and that's why you want to talk about it, or is there anything in particular that
No,
is...
so on May the 1st, they had
Yeah.
their official gameplay live stream.
Oh, I didn't see anything about this.
Yeah, so I guess they spoke about it a bit when they officially like or I guess like a couple of tweets came out after they officially announced it at their like reveal.
Yeah.
And then they were talking about how they're going to have a gameplay event, and I think, yeah, like I say, a couple of tweets came out from their official account saying, yep, this is the official gameplay reveal will be on May the 1st, 2019, and we're going to basically have like a couple of guys on stage playing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I guess like it sort of opened up, and they were talking about it. So Randy Pitchford and I can't remember the other guy's name. Something Sage, I think.
No idea.
Who's the creative director on Borderlands, and they were on stage, and then they showed like a screenshot, and they were like, yeah, so this is like an in-game rendered image of Pandora, and you know, we just thought we'd take you through some presentation clips of it, and like show you just some screenshots, and then Randy Pitchford was like, well, actually, you know what we can do? I guess we could show you some in-game engine screenshots, or we could just take you into it, because this isn't the screenshot, this is the actual game. It's like, oh my god, and it was like all 4K rendered and everything looked fucking brilliant in the Unreal 4 engine, because everything fucking does.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it looked incredible. I guess they sort of revealed, so we sort of knew who the 4 Vault Hunters were going to be. From the initial launch trailer, and then they sort of got into the more nitty gritty of 2 of them, which were Zane and Amara. And Amara is the siren in the game, and I think Zane is just the generic soldier guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they had a good hour of playing through it. I guess like there are certainly, like, the game looked amazing. I guess it's still got the same weird, fucking corny sense of humor, where sometimes it lands and it's really, really fucking hilarious, and then other times it's just like, well, that's just not funny at all. Like it's very hit and miss with its comedic timing.
But that's what you want from Borderlands, isn't it? Like, it's meant to be a bit shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, definitely, like, I guess it's quirky in that sense. It has its own sort of it has its own weird sense of humor combined with all of this other shitty humor in it.
Yeah.
I think one of the sort of things that came out after the fact, after they released it, was that the same voice. So there's been this whole thing about Reese from Tales from the Borderland not being voiced by, his name escapes me, but what's his face? He was also in Darksiders. I've forgotten his name now. This is really bad.
Troy
Baker. Yes, that's a fucking.
Yeah.
How the fuck could I forget his name? But yeah,
It's
there's been a lot of
name to forget.
there's been a lot of shit about like how Reese from Tales from Borderlands is in Borderlands 3, but it's not being voiced by Troy Baker. And there's this whole other thing as well. So apparently the Claptrap in Borderlands 3 is not being voiced by the same guy either.
Outrageous.
So the guy who voices him, Dave Eddings, he I guess he came out and said, yeah, it's not me. Like, or people on Twitter are asking him, oh, are you voicing Claptrap? It's like, nah, sorry, man, it's not me. And there's a whole thing behind it. And apparently he couldn't, or Borderlands and I guess Gearbox and himself couldn't come across like a mutual payment agreement for it.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense. You know, if you're a voice actor who's been in the 2 previous games, and this is meant to be, you know, this is the third one in that series, and it's meant to be coming out at that time where a lot of these groundbreaking games come out. I guess it makes sense. You want to be paid for what you're worth. Or
Sounds like he was getting a bit greedy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, you can read into it however you want.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you could be on either side.
Yeah, like, I'm not. It's like as iconic as Claptrap was to the series. I feel like it was really just the voice lines and like the writing behind it that made it, I guess.
So I've just read a thing that said, no, for the first time, I insisted on getting paid for my performance, and all of a sudden they couldn't afford me. So I don't know. Was he not paid before?
I mean, well, so Pitchford has obviously came out and said that yes, he was paid before, and he was paid very generously. And you know, this is it. There's always going to be two sides of the story, and it's always going to be like, well, like we don't know, and you guys are obviously going to be like saying that your point is correct, and there's always going to be two sides of the argument. So I don't.
Yeah, weird.
It's one of those weird situations where I don't know what to believe. I feel like it would have been nice to have him stayed on, but as I say, I feel as if what made Claptrap funny wasn't so much the person voicing him as much as it was the really shit lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess away from
it's like a robot voice, isn't it?
I guess away from all of that stuff, they like the gameplay was actually like it looked pretty decent. They skipped through a couple of levels through it, and I guess like one of the key factors, I guess we can all. So I don't know if they've fixed Borderlands 2 for us all to play it together again, but when we did play it all together, there was obviously no slide or mantle.
I was about to say this, yeah.
And that was like one of the very first things that they were like, oh, look, so this character in the game, like at the very start, you'll be able to learn obviously how to crouch and to slide. And you can also like jump, and if you miss the ledge that you're trying to jump onto, you'll be able to mantle up onto it. And it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, because that was what, like, as we were all playing, that was kind of the first thing we all said, wasn't it? That there's no mantle in it, which is kind of annoying, especially since we'd all been playing Apex Legends before that. And now they've just put in Apex Legends controls, which makes sense because, I mean, that's kind of the progression of first-person shooters, isn't it? Now they all have this sort of mantling stuff that I don't think was that common when Borderlands 2 came out, so it makes sense that they'd add that in.
Yeah. So, like, I guess, obviously in the 1 and 2 you had Sanctuary, which was like the place, like your sort of home base on Pandora that you would go to chat with the Crimson Raiders and do like collect all your mission stuff and whatever. In this one, Sanctuary is still there, but they've called it Sanctuary 3, and it's actually just a spaceship in space. So the whole like idea behind Borderlands 3 is you're chasing down these Calypso twins, who are, I guess, they're leaders of this clan called the Children of the Vault. And there are like different vaults on different planets, and you have to try and track down the vault keys. So what their plan is to track down the vault keys, and then one of them has the power to absorb the power of other beings. So I guess like their plan is to go around and absorb all of the powers from all of these vault beasts, which are kept inside the vaults. And obviously your idea is to try and stop them. So there are, I don't think we were given the specifics on how many vaults there are, but there are certainly, I guess, vaults scattered on different planets.
Yeah.
So you actually like, they also showed up quite a few of the old characters. So quite a few characters from 1, 2, the pre-sequel, and Tales of the Borderlands were all like, I guess like they all had their sort of separate areas in the ship.
Yeah.
Which I think is quite nice, like having those callbacks. And yeah, I mean, they went into a bunch of detail about like the skill tree stuff. So instead of, I guess on Borderlands 1 and 2, you'd pick one character and then you'd have like one main skill. So if you were the soldier, you just have a turret that you could lay down.
Yeah.
And then you'd have like 3 different sections of the skill tree. Whereas with this one, it's like each section of the skill tree has its own like individual like skill, I guess like base skill attached to it.
Yeah.
And then like some of them, I think for the soldier, you can have 2 of those skills active, but for everyone else, you could only pick one particular like base skill to equip.
Okay, that's pretty
Um,
cool.
yeah, I mean, like I guess like the soldier is one of those ones that's always been overlooked. Certainly from my point of view, it's always a character that's perhaps a bit underpicked. So I guess giving him 2 makes a bit more sense. Like I think
It's
he
probably
had.
also that, like, to keep him, like, soldier-wise, he can't really have these crazy abilities, can
Yeah.
he? So instead of giving him 1 crazy ability, you just have 2 sort of, like, chuck a grenade and a turret kind of thing, or...
I mean, I think he has a like drone that he can launch out, and it will just go and attack enemies, and he can target enemies for the drone to attack.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think one of them is like he creates like a digital copy of himself, and then that will
mate, fucking bamboozling!
that will also like attack enemies, and then there's a skill where if you press a certain button, you can sort of switch places with the digital copy, so you can send him out and he can maybe run behind an enemy line, and then you can do the switch and then be behind there yourself.
That is intense.
Yeah, I mean, like some of the stuff, like obviously they didn't really go too depth into the mechanics and everything of it, but some of it looked quite cool.
Yeah.
I think they said that the main story, if you were to like just do the main story missions and not bother with anything else, it would take you 30 hours to complete. Which
Okay.
is, I guess, like for someone, certainly like I guess in the old Borderlands games, I would, if I was in a certain area, you get like exclamation marks come up on the mini map, and it'd be like, hey, look, this is where you can pick up a quest. And I'd certainly try to complete as many of those quests in a certain area before I had to leave it. If there was a story mission that was like, oh yeah, you have to go and leave this area, go to a different place,
Yeah.
I'd try and complete everything there before I moved on.
Yeah.
So I guess like that will significantly extend the amount of time that it takes, and I guess with all of the all of the looting and stuff, it will probably like significantly extend it even more. So it's going to be quite a sizable game, which I'm looking forward to.
And then no doubt they'll end up adding loads of DLC, because Borderlands seems to often do that, don't they?
Yeah, they normally come out with like I guess at least 2, 3, maybe I think 4 maybe for Borderlands 2.
2 had tons of DLC.
Yeah, man. They mentioned obviously microtransactions, and I guess like they said that there's not going to be like any microtransactions in terms of like getting equipment and all of this stuff. But what they did say is that it's very similar to, I guess, what Titanfall. You can like buy skins.
Yeah.
And so like you can physically, instead of having like this, like you say, like a loot box element to it where I'll pay X amount of money and you might get what you want. I feel like they're just saying, yep, well, if you want this and you want to look cool. That seems
really strange for a single player game. I mean, I guess it's got co-op elements, but it's not like a competitive co-op, is it? It's like it's a story mode game, so that seems really strange that they've got microtransactions in it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, as long as if it doesn't change the game, then it's fine. If it's just like Titanfall 2 style aesthetic stuff.
I think it is just cosmetics, that's all.
But it still seems strange to put that in this kind of game.
I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. I guess they want to make money on top of the money that they're going to be making. So, but yeah, I mean, like I guess on the topic of multiplayer, it was, I don't know, it was so you can drop into like, I guess you can drop into your friends' games, and with the issue with previous games is there was that whole thing like we even experienced when we played it. It's loot only appears once for everyone inside the game, so it's very much like a battle of, oh, there's this awesome gun that's just dropped, let me grab it before anyone else.
Yeah.
But what they've done now is they call it like instance loot, so every person in the game, if you're in like a 4-player game and you defeat a boss and they drop their guns or whatever, every person will have like a different instance of loot.
Yeah, I remember seeing people getting annoyed about this when they announced it. Because there's an element of that's kind of what makes Borderlands fun, is that everyone's just got the same loot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think either way they're different, but...
I mean, so that's the thing as well. Like, you can... So they said you can have this instance loot thing for co-op is only really an option. You can play it as classic Borderlands.
Okay. Yeah.
So he did come out and say that if you don't like this, and we get it, not a lot of people will like it, and it's not very Borderlands. This is, we're gonna add a classic mode where you can just play through Borderlands how it was meant to be played.
Nice.
So you can do that. I think they have some weird like level balancing mechanics. It was so say if you were like a level 5 and I was like level 20, and we both like I jumped into your game.
Yeah.
My like all of the loot and stuff that I'd pick up would be, so instead of picking up like level 5 guns, I'd pick up level 20 guns, but my damage would be scaled down. If you get it, like, so because I'm in your game, I couldn't just go and jump into your game and then help you level up. Like, again, this is part of this optional thing. So that if you were playing it in classic mode, I guess I could go in and help you level up and boost you up by just helping you kill a lot of hard enemies.
Yeah.
But I guess it was, so like I'd still be level 20. All my guns and everything would still be level 20. But because I'm in your game, it would scale differently. So like I wouldn't be able to just come in and kill all of these level 5 enemies, because the enemies for me would be level 20.
Yeah.
But for you they'd be level 5. Like it was, I guess like it's some weird scaling mechanic that they put into it to make it sort of seem, I guess, more fun, so you don't just have people. I guess there are a lot of times where, if you're playing in an open game, random people can jump in who are
I mean, I guess it makes sense.
That like I guess like a lot of people, like you say, like a lot that there was some stuff out on Twitter being like, I don't really like this, man, what's going on? But like it's one of those things where I guess like very much like Marmite, there'll be people who love it and people who hate it. I'm undecided at the moment. I just feel like I've been waiting around for this game for far too long. I honestly can't wait for September 13th when it releases, because I need to have a look at my holidays and how many days I can take off of work.
Yeah. Just take off a Friday and a Monday. Have a long weekend.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's probably the idea.
It definitely looks. I had a bit of a gameplay on there while we were talking about it. It looks very Borderlandsy, which is what you want. But it does look slick. It looks fun. So I'm definitely excited for it, especially before they ruined the Mac PC crossplay fuckers.
Oh yeah. I don't even know if they're still working on that.
Well, they've said they are, but it's one of those games that's very fun to play together. So I'm excited for the idea of it coming out.
Yeah, I mean, there have been some murmurings about like crossplay. I think Randy Pitchford has come out and said that like he is very interested in the concept of crossplay and having like people able to play with each other even though they're on different platforms.
Yeah.
I guess at the end of the day that will come down to obviously like Microsoft and Sony going up against each other and seeing like, well, is there some kind of like, we know the whole debate about crossplay and how there's been, it's been going on for God knows how long now. So I don't know if that will ever sort itself out and come to fruition, but it would be nice. But
I think it's one of those things where it's not necessarily the game makers that get to decide, is it?
No.
So.
But yeah, I mean,
we'll have to see.
That was Borderlands 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting to see that stuff's coming out of it. When does it actually come out? Sorry, I think you just
September 13th.
September 13th.
Yes.
Not far away then.
No, and I've already got my pre-order down, so,
Nice. Do you think we'll see anything more at E3, or is there kind of everything we've got for it now?
So he did say, he did actually come out and say that they were going to be at Gamescom and at E3.
Yeah.
So in what capacity, I don't know. But they are going to be there. They are going to be, showing off more stuff, maybe doing some other stuff with the different characters in the game, and maybe getting into like the more nitty gritty of it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I imagine it won't be as extensive. But yeah, I mean that they are still saying that that they want to be there in some capacity and still have stuff to show off. So like I say, I think it'll probably be just expanding a little bit more on the other characters that haven't perhaps shown us yet. So
Yeah. Well, I look forward to seeing what comes of it.
yeah, man.
But we'll have to. What is it, like a month until?
Oh man, it is really that
E3's
close,
June,
isn't it?
right?
Fucking hell, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Jesus. Damn, this year's gone
exciting
quick,
times.
man.
Gonna find out about the Xbox 2, baby. Baby.
E3 2019 from 11th of June to the 14th of June. Oh
Man, that's quite soon. Shit.
Yeah, dude, this year's gone fucking insanely quick.
I'm in a field then. Fuck. I'm camping 11th till the 14th.
You what?
I'm a fucking idiot is what I am. God damn it.
Oh man.
Damn it.
It's fine. You got Discord on your phone. We can just like.
I don't have Discord on my phone.
Can
What
you
kind
do
of
that?
rich bitch do you think I am? I don't have a phone that can have stuff on it.
Touche. Hey man, all I was gonna suggest is that we could like screen share our shit with you. You know.
I might have to get Discord just so I can keep up to date. Anyway, I don't have anything more to share about the gaming world or my gaming experience. We've spoken for 46 minutes.
I'm all gamed out, man.
I'm proud of us. We've done a good job without those other two here going off and doing family stuff. The bastards.
Damn it.
Anyway. Yeah. If you don't have anything more to say, I'll do our what am I calling it? Sign out.
Yeah, go for it. Man.
I don't even know what I call it. I don't know. End peace. I should just do it instead of trying to come up with a name for it. You can find us on SoundCloud and iTunes at All Backed Up, a video game SOS. You can find us on YouTube at Low Expectations Media, and there'll be some playlists on there. Hopefully you can enjoy this podcast, enjoy other episodes of said podcast. Last week's was especially stupid, so get on that if you want to listen to some nonsense. And we'll be back next week with hopefully some more conversation about video games. I think Mark and Chor should ostensibly be around, but who knows?
Yeah, hopefully.
And I'll see if I play any more Darksiders. Maybe I'll finish Ruiner. Who knows what's going to happen? It's a wild world out there, and you can find out next week.
Bye.
Bye.